For the last 6 years, I have been scouring the internet up, down, left, right for my perfect vintage luxury alternative to the Chanel classic flap. And I think I have finally found it. And best of all, it has the perfect strap length for me to wear it crossbody. So in this video, I'm going to divide it into 8 parts. First, we'll do the unboxing. We'll go through the size and weight of this bag. Then I'll do a quick comparison between this bag and the Chanel classic flap. I'll tell you what I paid and give you the purchase story. I'll show you what fits, and I'll also give you a sneak peek of my entire collection from this brand. And I'll also show you alternative but similar styles that this brand has to offer on the pre-loved market. Okay, let's unbox this baby. Introducing my vintage Bally of Switzerland quilted flap bag. Let's do a quick overview. So this is the front of the bag. Here's the side of the bag. Here's the back, and yes, there is a back pocket, and yes, it is full length. Here's the other side. Here's the bottom of the bag, so the quilting continues along the bottom. And here's the top of the bag. And I want to just point out, this is a double grommet bag. So you can double up the strap, and also pay attention to the directions of the grommets. They are horizontally aligned, and we'll get more into that later on. Now, just from feeling the bag, I don't know exactly which leather it is, but I can tell you it's soft, squishy, supple, and puffy. And it smells nice, and it doesn't smell stamped or plasticky. So if I had to guess, I would say either lambskin or calfskin, but I'm really not sure. And I also don't know which era, which year this bag is from either. Now, in terms of hardware, you can see that there's a turn lock here stamped with B, which is one of the Bally logos. And also it has the interwoven chain link, which is very similar to the Chanel. So it is a gold hardware bag with black leather. Now let me show you the interior of the bag. So we'll open the turn lock. I'll just show you how the turn lock works. So you just twist that there, and then you can pull that out. And you'll see there, the turn lock, this protrudes this way. So this is the interior here. So you can actually see this is a double flap. 1 flap, 2 flap. Now if I open this up here, this actually has a magnetic snap there. So this is the main compartment of the bag. So there's one main compartment underneath this inner flap, but it also has a front slip compartment, which is also the full length of the bag. And then inside this main compartment is also a zippered compartment. And this bag is fabric or textile lined. It is not leather lined. So there's the interior compartment there. Now if we close this flap, there is also another full length flap behind, but this one is quite thin. There is no pockets or anything here under the flap. Now, the unfortunate thing I noticed about this bag is it really doesn't stand up on its own. And you guys know I love a bag with a structured bottom that stands up on its own. So you can kind of get it to stand up. Now this is when I'm talking about when it's empty. When you get it at the right angle on the table, but for the most part, it's going to topple over pretty easily. So if you are looking for a bag that's going to stand up on its own, this is not it. Now let me just tell you the dimensions and weight of this particular bag. So lengthwise, it's 10.6 inches or 26.9 centimeters. Height-wise, it's 6.7 inches or 17 centimeters. And the width of the bag is 2 inches or 5.1 centimeters. Now, actually, this bag is quite light. So it's about 550 grams or 1.2 pounds. For me, that's acceptable. And that's considering I have neck and shoulder problems because I can't go too heavy of a bag. So this is okay for me. And strap drop, which is one of my favorite features of this bag. Now, if you were to wear it doubled up, the strap drop is 11.8 inches or 30 centimeters. Or, now this is for me where the magic juice is, when you wear it as a single long chain, it has a 53 centimeter strap drop, which makes it perfect for me to wear crossbody, which is 20.9 inches. And that is where the secret sauce is for me as to why I bought this bag. It's the perfect strap drop to wear crossbody. And you guys know I'm a crossbody girl. Editing me here. So I've decided for the strap to try doing this. So having a little top handle here like that, and that does shorten the strap drop a little bit for crossbody, but I thought it was really cute like this, having this little bit hang down, and it sort of gives me the vibes of the Chanel 19 because they have a shorter strap that works like a top handle. And to achieve that, all I did was just add these pins here. These you can just get off anywhere like Amazon, Temu, eBay, whatever. And they're just little clips that people use to adjust their Chanel straps. So let me just show you what this now looks like crossbody. Okay, so what do you think now crossbody like this? So I think having that top handle there now makes it really easy to take the bag off. I love having a little top handle functionally. And I think this strap drop still works pretty fine on me. Actually, I do always prefer it a little bit higher. So I think I like this both aesthetically with the top handle and also functionally with the top handle. So now let's compare this and the unmodified strap look side by side. So tell me guys, what do you think? This modified strap look to have this faux top handle or the unmodified strap? Let me know what you think. I'm voting for this one. Now let's do a quick comparison between this and the Chanel bag, because in the end of the day, we bought this as a luxury alternative dupe to the Chanel classic double flap. So this is actually sized in between the Chanel medium large and the Chanel jumbo. But what I love about it is it has the weight of the Chanel medium large, but it has a longer strap drop like the Chanel Jumbo, meaning I'm kind of getting the best of both worlds here. So let's compare the exterior of this bag to the Chanel Classic flaps. So both the Chanel and the Bally bag have the diamond quilting and interwoven chain strap. However, there are some differences. So for example, this flap on the Bally of Switzerland bag is quite a straight flap, whereas on the Chanel Classic flap, it's slightly curved. Also, they have different style turn locks. So the Bally of Switzerland bag has a turn lock which protrudes into the bag. So as you can see here, it has a part that sticks out and goes into this hole. Whereas on the Chanel bag, it's the opposite. So just to show you how the Chanel turn lock works, this is my Series 0 vintage Chanel bag. And here's the turn lock here. Now you can see here, if I lift that up, it's actually protruding out from the bag and it goes through the turn lock and closes that way, which is the opposite direction of the vintage Bally bag, which protrudes from the flap into the bag. If we compare the back pockets of the bag, the Bally bag has a full length back pocket, meaning it's very spacious and it goes all the way down, versus the Chanel bag, which has a Mona Lisa small pocket and it only uses a portion of the back surface, so it's much smaller. Also, the configuration of the grommets is different. So I was mentioning these grommets are side by side, they're horizontally orientated. A modern Chanel Classic flap actually has them vertically orientated. However, just to throw in another curveball, if you look at vintage Chanel bags, this is my vintage Chanel Series 0 double grommet bag as well. And you can see it also has side-by-side grommets. So same orientation as this Bally bag. So if you get a vintage Chanel bag, it will be side-by-side grommets. If you get a modern Chanel bag, it will be vertical grommets. So that's just another interesting piece of trivia as well. Now, if you guys want to see more about this particular Chanel bag, like my review video, I will link that down below. Now let's compare the interior of this Bally bag to the Chanel Classic flaps. So this does have a fabric or textile lining rather than a leather lining like what Chanel has, meaning it does make the bag overall lighter as well, which for a bag this size, I do appreciate the lightness. Now, both brands do have a zippered compartment. However, the location of the zippered compartment is different. On the Chanel Classic flap, it is actually on the inside of the flap, and it was like the secret compartment, which they say the story is that's where she used to keep love letters. Whereas on this Bally of Switzerland bag, the zippered compartment is actually inside the main compartment there. Now, there are some noticeable differences between the two. So this Bally of Switzerland bag has a magnetic snap for the inner flap, whereas the Chanel bag is a push snap. So I find the magnetic snap a bit easier to use because if you get it close enough, it'll just magnetically bring it together. Whereas a push snap, you have to snap it at exactly the correct spot. Also, this Bally of Switzerland bag does not have the lipstick compartment and accompanying side compartments like what the Chanel Classic flap has. This is just completely plain with the zippered compartments here, and then it's just flat. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is sized actually in between the Chanel medium large and the Chanel jumbo. So I'm just going to put it up on the screen here. The dimensions that I have and the mod shots that I have for the Chanel medium large and the jumbo actually come from Minx for All. If any of you watch her channel, write Minx for All in the comment section. She has a great video comparing the Chanel medium large and the jumbo on her channel. So I watched that to do the research, and she was really thorough. She gave us all the dimensions and all the weights for the bags too. And she gave mod shots too. So I used her as a reference point for the dimensions, weight, and mod shots that I'm going to be using for this comparison. So you can see lengthwise and height-wise, this is actually in between those two sizes, but width-wise, this is actually skinnier than both the medium large and the jumbo. And the weight of this bag is actually slightly lighter than the medium large. However, the medium large, the weight was taken from a caviar version. So maybe if it was a lambskin, it would have been lighter or the same weight. Now onto the mod shot. So thank you Minx for All for providing such thorough mod shots in your videos that I could reference them today. So as you can see here, crossbody. This is the way I pretty much only ever wear bags crossbody, and Minx for All has a great mod shot here showing the difference between the medium large and the jumbo. The medium large is just way too short for me to comfortably wear crossbody. It goes right under the boob, and for me it's just too short. And the jumbo, it does go down more to an appropriate length for crossbody, but I think it's just for my frame a little bit too long, like a little bit too far down the hip. So that's what I love about this one. It's about a 5 centimeter shorter strap drop than the jumbo, meaning it's hitting me perfectly where I love it. Now, if you're someone who likes to wear it long shoulder, check out these mod shots. So this is Minx for All showing her mod shots. For me, it does fall lower down the hip than I would like for the Chanel jumbo. The medium flap length is okay, and so you can see where the Bally bag falls. And here it is doubled up. For it doubled up, I'm really not that picky where the bag lands. So for all three bags, I wouldn't mind where all three of them landed. Now, I'll have Minx for All's video where she compares the medium large and the jumbo linked down below if you want to see more about that. Okay, so let's talk price. Now, we know the Chanel medium large 2025, the price right now is over 10,000 US dollars. And for the jumbo, it's over 11,000 US dollars. How much did I pay for this bag? Now, bear in mind, it is a secondhand, vintage, pre-loved, whatever you want to call it bag. And this was in grade B condition. So grade B meaning like minimal signs of wear. And I would agree with the seller's rankings because the corners and the edges are all still pretty good. And also the quilting is still really puffy, and I cannot see any major flaws with this bag at all. So this bag I bought for 280 US dollars, plus I had to pay 10% tax, which has added another $28, which added up to be 308 US dollars all up. Now converting back to Australian dollars, I paid about 470, 480 Australian dollars. And actually it was originally listed for 298 US dollars. But this seller did have the best offer function and they accepted 280. So if you compare 280 to 10K, that is a massive savings to get the look for less for a bag that is still from a luxury brand, Bally of Switzerland, as a luxury alternate dupe. And to be honest, 10K on a bag is just not on the cards for me. So let me tell you the purchase story of how I came to buy this bag. So you guys know I have been collecting Bally of Switzerland bags lately, and I have just been checking out what Bally bags are on the pre-loved market. And that's when I came across this. Now, I have been searching for a luxury alternative to the Chanel Classic flap for years, since 2018, since 2019. And I have come across lots of vintage Bally of Switzerland flap bags, but never one that's looked like this. Actually, what I usually find is ones with a quilting that looks like this. So you can see they're both quilted leather bags with gold hardware, but the quilting is very different. This is a very small diamond shaped quilting, and also the shape of the quilt changes as it gets closer to the flap. Whereas this is a very uniform diamond quilt, very similar to the Chanel. So this is what I normally see with Bally of Switzerland. And you can see here, they have the same hardware. So I think they're from roughly the same era. So when I finally saw this, I went, oh, this could be it. This could be what I've been looking for years. And what pulled me over the line was the strap drop. I told you guys, I'm a crossbody girl, so I'm really particular about knowing what strap drop I'm looking for. I know I'm looking for 50 to 55 strap drop for crossbody. I will tolerate up to 45 if needed, and I will tolerate longer than 55 if I know I can figure out a way to shorten it. So if I know I can hack it per se, my tolerance broadens, but if I can't hack it, then I'm quite particular. And when I saw this had a 53 single strap drop, I knew that that was going to hit me in the right spot. So it just had the right combination. It had the Chanel style look, it had the perfect strap drop, and I have always wanted to try a double flap to see if I was actually gonna like it, like how annoying or cumbersome is a double flap going to be before even considering investing in a Chanel. So this was the perfect luxury look for less, that's still actually luxury, so that I can give it a go, the try before you buy method. Now, actually, when I first saw this bag, I put it on my watch list so that I could think about it because I didn't want to rush into an impulse purchase. And I think it was in there for like 2-3 days, and then the listing was gone. And I was like, oh no, I missed out. Someone else bought it. I was burning. I could not get this bag out of my mind. I was trying to find another person selling it, but there was absolutely no one else selling this exact same style. And then I was burning for about 2 or 3 days, and then the listing came back up. So I don't know if someone bought it and cancelled it, or the listing just ran out of time and ended, and the seller had to manually relist it. But nevertheless, once it came back, I just jumped on it. I was like, okay, we're just going to have to buy it at this point, because I was burning so badly that I knew that I must really like this bag if I was burning that bad over it. Now, this is not my first time trying out a Chanel dupe, but this is my first time trying a Chanel dupe from a luxury brand. I have actually tried Shein Chanel dupes in the past, and they haven't really worked out for me. So first I tried one of the, it was like, you know, classic flap / reissue dupe, and it was a purple metallic-y color. They got for about $30 from Shein, 30 Australian dollars from Shein back in 2019. I've since sold that bag, but this is a picture of the bag here. And I also bought these three, which is identical bag in different colors. I know I'm crazy like that. I always keep buying doubles and triples of things. This is the Shein dupe of the Chanel Diana bag, which is another vintage Chanel holy grail bag of mine, which I will collect one day. But just to scratch the itch, I bought these first in black, pink, and white. Okay guys, so let me show you what fits, and this bag can fit quite a surprising amount. Okay, so let's see what fits. It's a pretty big bag and it's pretty soft and squishy, so we're going to be able to fit quite a decent amount in there. So let's open her up. So the main compartment is actually the compartment underneath the second flap. This is the biggest compartment here, so we're going to be mostly using this. So just to give you an idea, so I've got a big phone, power bank. This is my Teddy Blake card holder. I actually have a discount code for Teddy Blake, so I'll leave that in the description box. I could probably put that in this front slip pocket here because it's thin. Actually, I might move the phone in there too because that's also thin. I have both a lip gloss and a lipstick. So remember, unlike the Chanel, we don't have a lipstick compartment. Not that I think anyone actually uses that for lipstick anyway. Now this is a bottle of water, 500 ml capacity. So it is a bit smaller than the typical Australian bottle of water, which is 600 ml. So this is slightly smaller. Bear in mind, this is empty at the moment. But it does fit laying down. You can see there's even a bit of extra room. So I'm going to stand up the power bank, and that can go all the way down. Keys. Look, I still have a ton of room in there. And then this is just a pouch for extra things. Okay, so let's see if she will close up. So I don't necessarily care about using the magnetic snap button on that inner flap. I just care about getting that main flap closed. Okay, so that closes and I can lock her. And that fits fine. Like, it's not protruding out too much on the sides. So it fits a decent amount. Now, if I wanted to actually carry a cardigan, I could swap out this bottle of water. This is one of those really thin cardigans from Uniqlo. So let's see if I can just shove that on top. Again, I'm not going to worry about using this magnetic flap. I'm just going to worry about using the main flap. Okay, yeah, she closes again. And again, not protruding out too much. So this can hold a really decent amount. Of course, the more you stack in there, the heavier the bag's going to get. So it's up to you how heavy you can tolerate. But capacity-wise, it can fit a decent amount. Well, now that I have a Chanel dupe from the Bally of Switzerland brand, let me show you a sneak peek of all my other Bally of Switzerland bags, which happen to be dupes of other designer houses too. So you guys know I love to collect a vintage Bally Kelly style bag. So this is one that's a dupe of the Hermes shoulder Kelly, the vintage one, which is a very expensive bag on the pre-loved market and also a very rare bag. And then you guys know after that, I collected this also top handle mini Kelly dupe from Bally of Switzerland. These two bags are like a box calf leather. I've been loving them. And don't forget, I have unboxing and try on videos for all of these bags. This is another Bally of Switzerland Kelly bag I bought, but this one this time is in the retourne style or retourné, whereas the other two were in the Cellier style. And I also have a Bally of Switzerland Birkin style bag, which I've been using as a work bag recently. So this is a dupe of like the Birkin 30, but I love that you get a shoulder strap, a proper shoulder strap built into the design, which is why I bought this bag. And also I have some bags that are not dupes of other brands, but are unique to the Bally of Switzerland design. So this is a really vintage kind of box style bag. And if you open her up, she opens up into multiple compartments. And this was a grade A bag that I bought. Really great quality leather that Bally of Switzerland use. And this is also a beautiful vintage travel clutch, which I bought because it has such beautiful organization on the inside and also a retractable wrist strap. How clever is that? So vintage Bally, if you are interested in affordable luxury, is a brand I encourage you to check out. And lastly, this is not my bag. I showed you guys this earlier. This is actually my sister's vintage Bally of Switzerland bag. And similar to how mine is a dupe of the Chanel medium, large or jumbo, this is a dupe of the Chanel mini square. So if you're looking for a vintage alternative to Chanel bags, definitely check out vintage Bally of Switzerland. So I'll show you all the bags that are similar to these on the pre-loved market that you can also find. And most of these are priced between $200 and $500 US. So you can see here, we've got the two different style quilts, the bigger diamond quilt and the smaller quilt. And of the bigger diamond quilts, what I have found are these styles here. So I put an arrow onto my bag there, but you can see there's 4 or 5 alternative styles you can find on the pre-loved market. And also for this style quilt, if you want to be more true to the Bally brand, then this is the more common quilt you'll find. And this one has a lot of beautiful flat back designs too. And not only that, interestingly on a side note, they made a Kelly bag with the quilt. So check out this picture here. So there's the big diamond quilting Kelly and the small Bally style quilting Kelly. And actually, if any of you guys watch A Briefcase of Luxury, she unboxed the big diamond quilting Kelly on her channel. And I'm pretty sure she said she paid about $500 US for it. So if you guys want to see her reveal and try on video with that bag, I'm going to link it down below. And not only that, they didn't just make black bags. So they did have other colors too. Like here's a white quilted Kelly bag. Here's a yummy dark brown chocolate flat bag. So don't be surprised if I end up buying more Bally of Switzerland bags, because the last 12 months, I've already collected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Bally of Switzerland bags. So that collection grew to 7 in 12 months. And I'll link all those unboxing try on videos down below. Okay guys, so give me your final verdict. Is this a yay or a nay? Is this a good luxury alternative dupe to the Chanel classic flap? I have actually used this bag today already, and I was able to fit 2 small parcels to go to the post office today in this front flap, and the bag was not too heavy at all. So for me this is a yay. And what I think I've discovered is I'm not really a double flap person. So I'm glad I did not invest into a Chanel, even a vintage Chanel. If I had bought a vintage Chanel for $4,000 or $5,000 and then discovered I don't like a double flap, that would have been very heartbreaking that I lost $4,000 or $5,000. Sure, I could resell it, but then that would be a huge hassle anyway. So I'm glad I only spent about 470 Australian dollars to have a fun flat bag that is a little bit cumbersome because of the double flap. But overall, I consider this bag a yay. Now, if you guys haven't already seen my latest luxury unboxing, which turned out to be a little bit of a fail, but I think I brought it back from the dead, I'm gonna leave that video here. And if you guys haven't seen the unboxing before that, which also had a little bit of a fail moment, but again, I think I DIY fixed that, I'm gonna leave that here.